Hello there, welcome back to Home Mystics. My name is Tutu Westerhoff and I created this channel to share my thoughts, some inspirations, and some ideas on creating homes that inspire us all and make us happy, joyful, loving people and all that fun stuff. So today I want to talk to you guys about the things that I do to bring in that functionality and aesthetic into my kitchen. Our family is pretty big for a German family. We're five altogether. My children are teenagers, meaning that there's a lot of cooking going on in this house. They cook for themselves most of the times. So I had to set up our kitchen in a way that it makes things easier for them to cook and also to put things away. It's the little things that you place in your kitchen and where you place your items that ends up making it the functional place that it will be in the end. So you really do have to take a close look at your routines and your habits and the way you do things, and that's going to guide you to set up your kitchen and put things in the right place to make them functional. One of the first things that you see when you walk into my kitchen is a big picture with many, many colors on it. And I just absolutely fell in love with it when I saw it for the first time because it had all the colors in there that I use to decorate our home throughout the year. I'm the kind of person that likes to change our soft furnishings. That's like our throw pillows and the cushions and little pieces of decor here and there. And the colors do tend to change throughout the year. So this picture in the kitchen kind of like ties everything together. It also makes the space feel warm and cozy. Kitchens are allowed to be decorated as well. I bring in a slight African vibe in our kitchen with the little pieces of decor that you find here and there, like maybe to store our ginger and curcuma. I have little decor pieces like these clay pieces of fruit that you see here in this bowl. Our dining table is wood. Our candle holders, well, today they're made of wood because I changed those as well quite a lot. All of these things, these elements bring in warmth in our kitchen, and that's something that I really, really love. Of course, you can see the Africanness in the food that I prepare. A lot of times people use their appliances as decoration, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine if you don't go overboard with the appliances, covering up all your surfaces with too many things. That makes the place look kind of cluttered. So what I do is to put out the appliances that I know that we use on a daily basis. Of course, we have things that, like to make eggs, or we have the blender, we have the toast maker. All of those appliances I keep tucked away in a cabinet because they're not things that we use every day, just to free up the space and not have it overcluttered with too many appliances. So our KitchenAid, the mixer, is out a lot as well. The air fryer is out, and right next to that, I have a station where my children make water. Well, we all drink water in this house. We don't drink any juice. We drink tap water. I wanted it to be something that will animate them to drink more water. We have this thing in Germany called SodaStream. So I got this little rack thing where you can put all the bottles in, and they could just grab a bottle and make their water, sparkling water, throughout the day whenever they need it. I also have another jug standing there. I think it's a Brita, which filters water. I don't know whether it's good or not. That's another topic for another day. But apart from that, all you really see on our countertops is the toaster, which my children use quite often. I also have our kettle, which is used every day, multiple times during the day. We're not big coffee drinkers, so we don't have a coffee machine out. We tend to use a French press or filter coffee. And those are things that I keep away in the cupboards because we don't use them every day. So the idea is just to only have the things that you use regularly out to prevent the space being overcluttered, to have that clean look throughout the kitchen. What we also have is an area where there's always fruits and vegetables open out for inspiration, because I said earlier my children cook for themselves. And I felt at some point that having the food in the refrigerator placed in different areas or hidden, for them it's hidden, it it doesn't motivate them to cook the vegetables or eat the fruits that much. So having them out on display where they can see them gets them to use or eat them a lot more. I try to incorporate different types of fruits and vegetables just to bring that healthy element into our lives. So when you walk into my home, one of the first things you're definitely going to see is lots of fruits and lots of vegetables on display. And because it's on display, I try my very best to set it up in a way that it looks aesthetic, that it looks inviting, that it looks pleasing, not just dumped in there, not messy. And the same goes for my onions and garlic, curcuma or ginger, things like that that we use to cook. I leave those out so they can grab them easily. At the same time, I try to place them in an aesthetic way so that that makes the space look cozy and welcoming at the same time. Another thing that I love about our kitchen is our granite countertop that you can actually cut on. People are just suffering in this house. They end up chopping things everywhere. So what I did was I bought glass chopping boards and place them in the two areas that I know that we usually tend to chop up our fruits and vegetables. We used to use wooden boards and plastic boards. We transitioned from that. We used them for a while until they were no longer usable. Then I decided to get the glass ones because I really feel that they're a lot healthier, not necessarily easy to maintain, but a lot healthier. And I know that they ruin knives. They don't ruin knives, but they make the knives dull. But I'm willing to sharpen our knives. That's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the health of our family, because using glass chopping boards is generally more hygienic and healthier overall. So I place those in two areas, and it's also nice and clean, and it doesn't disrupt the look of the space. Before that, people were chopping things all over the place. I'm like, no, 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 this is not working. So I designated spots for the chopping and the making of sandwiches and whatnot to happen. Another thing that I absolutely love about our kitchen that is very functional are the rugs that we have on the floor. They're gray, they're plain, they're simple, but very, very functional, because, you know, when you work in the kitchen, there are lots of things that land on the floor, there's spills and all that. And this narrow rugs right underneath the area where we work tends to catch a lot of the things that fall on the floor, and it makes it easier for me to clean. I decided to go for the gray because it is because our tiling, the flooring is gray as well, so it just works together really well and does not attract too much attention and yeah, distract the eyes, because when you walk into the kitchen, you don't want that to be the first thing that you see. Not only that, I could just pop it into the washing machine really quickly and it always looks brand new right afterwards. Another thing that I like to have in my kitchen are my aprons. I designed the fabric on these aprons myself. I have this brand called Momentus Box where I create home textiles and accessories. And aprons are something that I really wanted to have in the range because I use them a lot. And to me, they also help to make a kitchen look cozy, and it also identify what the space is for. It is for cooking, and so you have cooking aprons in there. And when it comes to the sink area, there's usually a lot going on there, so it's really important to have things planned, things structured, and put into the right places to make the whole processes a lot easier. I love using labeled pumps and spray bottles, like many people do, to make the place look cleaner. Because you know, when you have these different bottles of soap, of I don't know, surface cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, and it makes the place look not so elegant. So having everything uniformed and labeled gives this cohesive, clean, um, yeah, beautiful look that I really want to have in my kitchen. We also have our knives on display, and this is something that I probably would do different if I was on my own, but because we're a family, we have to figure out what's the best for everyone, okay? And having these knives up there on display on this really, really practical magnet board, it helps us to keep it clean, keep it organized, and it makes things easier for everyone. So there's no looking around for whatever it is that they want, what knife they want to use. And it is true that people tend to use the same knives every time. We don't need the whole range of knives, but sometimes during the year, if we are dealing with meat or fish, it's always practical to have them. Also, around the cooking area, I love to have fresh herbs alongside my spices to season our foods with. So, when you come into my house, you will definitely find peppermint, basil, oregano, or some kinds of herbs because that also gives the green gives life to a space, and it gives that feeling of being nourished, being alive, and being joyful and happy. That's what green plants do, and having that in the kitchen adds to the whole the aesthetic of the space. um, yeah, what else do I have in my kitchen? Yes, one thing that I really love about my kitchen is what the Germans called an apotheker pharmacy. It's this pull-out drawer where I have all our food stuff in glasses, well organized, well organized. I try to keep it organized. It's not always organized because there's movement in our house. That's what people have to understand, that because there's movement in the home, it's not always going to be perfect. So we have to always keep working on it. Have times of during the year where we go in and sort things out, check dates, refill things constantly. So that's something that's always happening. I love this apotheca because it's easy to pull out and you can see what you have and what you don't have, which makes cooking a lot more easier, a lot more fun, and less stressful. Another thing that we incorporated in our kitchen is this open shelf where I have our plates and dishes and bowls that we use on a regular basis. Now, this is not all we have, but it's all that we use on a daily basis. I am very particular about this. We have more than that, but I keep those stored away because I notice with my family, well, with most families that I work with, the more you have out, the more difficult it is to keep it under control. So I make sure that I limit the amount of bowls, dishes, and cutlery that we have during the day, and that keeps things under control and manageable, or else people are going to be using them like nobody's business. I do have special ones for when guests are over, or if we're more people having a meal together, and I keep those, as I said, tucked away. I stick to the same kinds that I've been using for forever, and I also don't mind chips on my dishes as well. Of course, if I have guests over, I'm not going to put the chipped ones on the table, but I don't think it makes sense to throw something away just because it is broken. And I'm very big on repairing things and using them for as long as possible. And you will see that on many things in my kitchen. One thing that I also like to use are these little things where you place your spoons on whilst you're cooking, because that's one thing that I can't stand as well. Cooking and then putting the spoons that you use to mix the food on the countertop. So I have these little things that we placed them on, and one of them broke a little while ago, and I was able to fix it. And it looks good as new, and it still functions well. And I got these from Ibiza. It's on holiday, I think, a few summers ago, and we've always been using them. I always get them from Ibiza because we used to have a house in Ibiza, and we have a connection to that place. So every time I see them, it reminds me of when the children were younger, and we used to spend our holidays over there. And that's also one thing that I think that is really important when you create your space, is to have such things within the space that, for memory's sake, that remind you of things, that have a story to tell and make things feel more, more comfortable, more like family. In our kitchen, we also have a table for six, and it's a wooden table, and I absolutely love this table. This is a table that actually was in Ibiza as well. We've had this table for, I don't know, I think 20 years, or maybe even 20 plus years, and you can really tell that it's experienced a lot, and I absolutely love that when you have a piece of furniture um, that has so much to tell, that holds so many stories, that so many memories of time spent together. And on this table, we placed a piece of metal that also looks very stressed and very used. I love that look. You find lots of grays, lots of brown tones on it, and I use that to place like hot pots or hot dishes on the table, because that's something else as well that I love. I just love like bringing the pot over from the oven or from the stove and placing it on the table for people to dish the portion that they would like to have. Once in a while, I do like to transfer whatever it is I'm cooking onto a serving dish, but I prefer to put the pots and the baking trays on the table. And so that's why when you walk into my house, you see this piece of brass. I don't really know what kind of metal it is, but it keeps the heat from destroying the wooden table. Next to our kitchen, like right behind me right now, is our fireplace that we turn on quite often during the winter season. And that also brings in that warmth and coziness into this area that, makes the staying together, having conversations and talking a bit more, even more, not a bit more, even more cozier and more interesting. The sound and the smell of the fireplace is just something that I absolutely love, and it functions really, really well. We I don't even remember the last time we bought wood, because we have so many trees. Last year, two trees fell down, so we just chopped up the wood and, let that dry out, and that's what we bring into the house to make our fire. One last thing that I like to add that I absolutely love about our kitchen is the big window that leads to the garden. This open space, this window, brings in so much light into the kitchen, and at the same time being able to see the trees, the leaves changing, and the different seasons, the snow, the flowers blooming throughout the year, seeing squirrels and birds and animals passing by really helps with conversations as well, making memories, as I say. So that's one thing that I really, really appreciate and I love about this space. So I hope I was able to inspire you and give you some ideas. And yeah, feel free to share this video and let me know in the comments if there's anything particular that you love about your home. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.